Hello there, this is Carol King, the developer of Custom Home Builders Solutions, also known as CHS. This video is going to be about a great update that we have made for the waivers of lien in CHS. So now the vendors can actually sign the waiver online and return it to you via our comments and messages and via a brand new vendor portal that we have for the vendors. So I'm going to demonstrate that and tell you a couple of things you need to do to prep for the fact that we now have that feature. Like I said before, you could type waivers in here in the index to find the waivers, or you can do vendor setup and waivers of lien. What I'd like you to notice is that it says alert. As of August 2023, CHS is now putting signature lines on the waivers. So please edit your waiver styles and remove any vendor signature lines from page 1 with markers. That's because CHS is now going to put on the report that opens the waivers after your page 1 body, it's going to have signature lines on that report. It's just put your body in and then it'll put signature lines. We need to do that so that if the vendor signs the waiver online, we can place where the signatures are and some other information about who signed it and what date it signed, etc. So let me demonstrate that for a minute. Let's go to Add or Edit Waivers, and let's just randomly select something, maybe conditional one page. Let's see if we have signature lines in it. The reason I'm going here is because you need to remove any signature lines that you put in this page 1 body. Notice that now it says alert. Do not include vendor signature lines in the body. CHS will insert blank signature lines after the body. Now notice I do have signature lines, as probably most everybody does, and I'm going to end up deleting those, but I'd like you to see what would happen if I didn't when I preview the one page with markers. If you scroll down, here's the ones you have in your body, and this is all just within your page 1 body. But then below it are some more signature lines, and these are the signature lines that CHS is now putting on the waiver. So what you want to do is get rid of all of this part, because we have a date signed and by, and we have their full name over here, etc. So you can see that you would want to get rid of this set of lines and then just have this set of lines, because these will always be there, because CHS is going to use these spaces when the vendor signs to put their signature here, a date signed. They are asked to print their name when they sign and their title. So all of that would be put in here by CHS, and your hard copy of the waiver would get replaced with a signed copy of the waiver. So you need to go through all of your waiver styles and make this change. I'm just going to mess with conditional progress 1 now. So I'd come here into the body and I just go ahead and get rid of that part of it, and then I save it, and then I preview it again, and you'll see that now it makes sense that there is just these signature lines and not the ones that you had. If it causes you to go on to 2 pages when it's supposed to be 1 page, then you'll need to look at your spacing of your body, get rid of some things, maybe tighten up some things, maybe less lines between paragraphs, or who knows what your particular style is. But you would not do that on the preview multiple print no markers. So you go through these, get rid of ones you don't use anymore maybe, and also just get them edited. The next thing I'm going to do is select that one. I think it was conditional page 1, which you can see in other videos about why you're selecting those. And I'm going to use this great big range of dates because this is my sample stuff, and I'm going to use a really old job just because I don't want to mess with any of my current demo jobs. So I'm just going to find everybody we paid that was a subcontractor for this really, really old job. And we're going to open the progress waivers. Now the next thing, and it was explained a little in the previous video, but it's more important now, about we have the hard copy and then we can send a comment and tell them, give them their portal information and have them sign, is that to have that happen, you need to have a yes for post waivers with marker to tracking table and to store the hard copy. You can watch a previous video a little more about that. So let's open progress waivers. So if I click this one to do a 1 page with markers, it will make the hard copy, and then it will open the docs view so that you can open the file, take a look at it, and see if you're happy with the hard copy that was made. This has now been stored in your file cabinet, and you can see that this stuff has been stuck in here on those lines by CHS, and what your stuff is stops right here. So let's close that, If you open that, you have to end up saving it again because it sticks some stuff in there, some markers that need saved. The next thing that's new is you will see to send a comment to the vendor that has a small URL link to the waiver in its message, click one of the buttons below. Do you want the message in the comment to include info about opening the vendor portal for the vendor to sign the waiver? If so, click the button labeled Send Portal Info. If not, click the button labeled Do Not Send Portal. We're going to say we want to send portal info in our comment. You will notice that the lingo over here is talking about that you can sign it on your vendor portal, etc., so you could take a look at that. It's all ready to go. You don't really have to make any changes if you don't want to, and this is a link to that waiver so that they can see it easily. So I'm going to click the send, and I'll show you some new stuff on the comment window. Notice that this is checkmarked that this vendor is online and marked to be online, etc. If it's not online, you'll get some messages that it's not and that you need to use the pencil edit icon to set the vendor up online so they can use the portal, which means you would check mark online. You need to put a 4-digit numerical password or supply one. It will check to see if it's a duplicate of anybody else's out there. You should have a good email address for them that will work. I'm going to put mine in so I can demonstrate using that and open the email and show it to you real quick. So this is all ready to go. It's online, etc. Before we go, I would like to click this question mark button. Notice all of the things that once they get to the portal that the vendor will be able to see: messages, things in the plans room for the job, bid requests you sent to them, purchase orders, scheduled tax, photos, docs, waivers of lien. Vendor can sign the waivers. Once they get to the portal, it will all be for only one job, whatever job you are sending this about, and they'll be able to look at these various things and take actions on them. There will be a menu in the portal. You'll see that in a minute. So let's close and let's try sending again and see. Comes back to this screen because of changes. Now see this CHS support, and notice that it says portal email. If you have not checkmarked this as online, there won't be a portal email link. You would just send some regular email that has that URL for the waiver in it. But I want a portal email so that they will get some codes. Now you can see here that what it's going to tell them is they have a new message, and it says waiver of lien, and it says the credentials, and it says to click this to open the portal. When they open the portal with these codes right here, it will immediately show the comment message about the waiver, and we'll have a link in there for them to be able to sign the waiver, open the list of waivers that they might have, etc. So we'll see that in just a minute. I'm going to go ahead and send the email to myself, and the email was sent successfully. I'm going to just close the comment, and if I go to the tracking table, let's check that out because that's where we'll operate from now. It'll be at the top. You'll see that there is a comment bubble there, and if I just open the comments list, you'll see the waiver of lien, and you'll see the message that says Carol King has uploaded, etc., that was in the message box. This does not have the portal information that was included for that email. So let's look at the portal and sent info, and you can see there's the codes and when it was sent, and that it was sent by email, and it was with this comment. It was Dia's Cleaning, and you'll start seeing a portal. After Dia's Cleaning logs into the portal, you will see vendor login in the portal information. So let's close this. Let's close this, and I'll be right back. I'm going to go prepare to open the vendor portal so you can see what happens. So here I am being Dia's Cleaning, and I've received an email that says I have a new message from Carol King. To view the message, I can tell it's about waiver of lien, but it tells me to click the link and then enter these credentials. So the code and an ID that's going to specifically send them to the portal for just the job that is being referred to in this particular email, which it shows the job right up here, so it'll be to group. And this is a password that you assign to your vendor, and that'll always stay the same even though they switch jobs, but the ID is what takes them into their portal just for the job that we're talking about. And I'll click the link, and I'm going to make this more to the size of like a phone, as best as I can, as small as I can, but actually it shows up really nicely on a phone. But I'll just try to mimic it a little bit. So then I'll paste in my ID, and then 275, I believe it is. And then I'll be Maria Diaz, and then I will open the portal. And the first thing that you'll see when you get over to the portal is the comment that was sent to you. And you can do various things to it. And you can see that it was about a waiver, and you can go ahead and click on Go to Waivers and sign it. So let's do that. and then you'll see that you can sign one. I think this was one I was experimenting with quite a while back. But first of all, they can open the waiver, take a look at it before they sign it, see if they're fine with it, and you can see there's no signatures in it yet, so let's close that tab. And let's click the thing to go sign the waiver. There's no note in here, and you can't type a note, but there might be a note that the program gives you, so let's just try to do an MDias or something. And then you commit it, and then it's put in the name that you came into the portal with, and that's what's going to show up on the waiver as to who signed it. And I'll just say owner, and then I should have not made it quite so small, but on your phone it'll be good. So I'll do save and send. It's remaking a copy of the hard copy and getting the signature inserted into it. It says the waiver has been updated as signed, and an email about your signature has been sent to a CHS user. CHS will look for the user that created that waiver of lien and send them an email. But it will also end up being in your comments list, which we'll see here in just a second. But let's say OK and go back to the waivers list. Notice the sign thing goes away, and notice if I look at the open and I click to open, there's her signature with her name and what her title is. So that's why CHS is placing the lines in there for you so it can place this stuff once it is signed. So I hope that makes sense. You wouldn't want to have two sets of, some empty sets of lines that you had in your body originally. So if I close that and close that, I'd like to show you that you can also go to a list of your purchase orders, which I don't think there might be any for this old job that I use. Well, there's one. You can open the purchase order, sign it. It's similar to the waivers. You can go to scheduled tasks, which I'm not sure if there's any for that old job, but there might be a list of them from your new list schedule that we're putting out right now. You can make a list of tasks for the vendor, for the job, and they can see them and do comments back and forth with the comment bubble. They can look at photos and docs. They can look and see if there's any bid requests for them. There's no bid request in here for them to fill out, but if they clicked on one, then they can upload a copy of their bid and it gets sent back, and it can be reacted to by users in CHS from the comments thing. When you go to messages, you have to go back home to get to the menu, and that's kind of a look-see, and everything that's in the plans room for that job will show up for them, so you want to be real careful about what you put in plans room if you don't want vendors to be seeing it. Let's go back menu and all messages for the job. Let's go to that. They're going to see all messages to and from the vendor. And you can see that there's been a new message put in here. Maria Diaz, owner with Maria, has signed a waiver of lien for check number 3005, blah, 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 blah. And so you get notice, and you'll see that right away. If you're over on your CHS and opening it in your launch tab, if I refresh this, when you come into CHS, you'll see the latest comments with the latest one on top. You'll see that there's one on top here now from Maria Diaz that's in yellow because it's from a contact. And so then you could go ahead and look at the hard copy yourself if you like. Open the waiver hard copy, and you can see from when inside CHS that this waiver has been signed. So there you go. That's how they sign it. It's also been, if we open and go back to the waivers, let's go back and get on the menu. Go back to the waivers and to the tracking table. Waivers tracking. You can see right here that it's been updated as signed, as a waiver of lien has been signed, and that there's the comments, and you would be able to see those comments about the waiver being signed. So you can see how handy that is. I think that's all I needed to show you about all of this, and I hope that helps. Have fun.